Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the audio updates. Hopefully, we're going to get back to a regular schedule, even if it's a few times a week. That's my goal anyway, and I'd like to get back to daily eventually, if my schedule allows. In any event, we're going to talk about 7 types of people that it is best for you to stop helping. There are just certain archetypes of folks who it's not advantageous for you to continue helping. And some of these are going to seem really, really simple, but others of these may be stumbling blocks for you. If they are, I encourage you to get in touch with me or another coach to work through these challenges so you can live an empowered 2021 and beyond. So the first is folks that have a victim mentality. We've all been through stuff. I still have stuff from my own childhood or early adulthood that I look back at and go, gosh, that really shaped who I am today, and I wish I'd never went through it. And I give myself permission to go back there every once in a while, be it once a month, once a quarter, once every a couple times a year, whatever it is, and to go back there and to spend an hour or two with those memories and regrieve them. I think one of the misnomers in psychology is that we won't have times where we go back to fundamental moments and feel like a victim sometimes. I think it's okay to feel it. It's not okay to let its feeling become a dominant force in our lives. And so if someone is in the perpetual victimhood where they can't move through their daily, weekly, or monthly life, that becomes a person you shouldn't help because they're not going to value your help in the way you want them to anyway. And they will drain you of all your energy and emotional and perhaps physical or financial resources, which isn't going to be good for anyone. The next one is ego-centered folks. So, on the surface, we all have survival instinct. On the surface, we all have moments where, if push comes to shove, we're going to protect ourselves, we're going to defend ourselves. That's part of human existence. It's part of necessity of survival. And at the end of the day, I think sometimes, having those ego moments and not expecting them can catch us off guard, especially if we see someone as gentle and simple. But a person who's narcissistic or ego-centered is a person who's playing a different game than the average person is. They are playing constantly from a place of fear. They are playing to win. They are playing to protect themselves, and they're not really invested in you. And so if a person is constantly ego-centered or narcissistic, it's better for you to walk away and pour your energy into somebody else, because it's just the statistical odds of changing a person who is, self-focused and ego-centered are very, very low, and the chances that you get more hurt or more confused, or the bigger challenge, becoming cynical about human nature, is extremely high. The next is liars. So compulsive lying and instinctual lying are things. They actually happen. And so there are people in the world, usually because of trauma or because they have a worldview that says they're owed something, and entitlement overlaps with this. But compulsive lying or fundamental lying are things. And so if you're dealing with a person that you've caught in a lie once, certainly forgiving them is a good idea. If you're dealing with someone you've caught in a major lie twice, we're not talking about lies like, gee, I don't know where I put your shoes, and then they're playing a joke on you. I'm talking about lies that really change how you see them. By the second time, you should be setting boundaries down one more time, and by the third time, you should be out. So, or at least, maybe it's 4 for you, or 2 chances for you, or whatever. But you need to have a boundary about how many times you catch someone in a lie, and then go back into the relationship. Because here's the thing. The more times you return to a liar, the easier they find it to manipulate you at the end of the day. And so if you have a person who is able to lie to you for months or years at a time, there is no incentive, absolutely none, for them to change their behavior towards you, because what's the point? They are gaining nothing by doing it. They're losing control over you by being honest in a lot of ways, or the potential to lose is greater, and so it's not worth it to them. The next one is kind of like unto it, desperate people. So if a person's desperate, and it's once in a friendship, or once a year, or once every few years thing and they get caught in a jam. These are not the people I'm talking about, but I'm talking about people with a history of emotional desperation. They're always looking for money. They're always looking for extra help. They're always looking for you to bail them out of a situation or jail or talk them through something. And they're not making life progress. That's the other side of it. People with chronic desperation don't make progress because their expectation is, oh, someone will bail me out anyway. And so there's a lesser incentive to really work on oneself and work on internal actions and consequences and all of that. And that can be challenging to deal with. So if you're dealing with a constantly, chronically desperate person, best to walk away. The next is, I can actually combine two, and that is no loyalty and no trust. So different people value different things at different levels. I value loyalty above all things. That's just how I work. And so for me, loyalty is a big thing. And it's like, hey, I'll accept you no matter where you are, no matter what you've done. But if I catch you in more than 2 lies, you're out of my life. Now, that's a standard that I have for for every person in my life, and they start with that standard. And so loyalty to me means doing what you say, saying what you mean, and doing what you say you're going to do, and meaning what you say, and trying not to mince words as much as possible. If you find a person isn't loyal to moving the relationship forward, or because of infidelity or dishonesty or manipulation or any other reason, you find yourself that you really can't trust them, here's the thing. It can take a little while to build trust, but literally seconds to break it. And the majority of people have difficulty rebuilding trust. Now, they may give forgiveness or give passes, but rebuilding trust also requires us to take a deeper look motivationally at the reason why someone does what they do, and being able to have a relationship with why their behavior changes, why they're doing what they're doing, the motivation, the defining factors, and all of that. If you don't have a relationship with these things, then you're not going to be able to make informed decisions about continuing the relationship. The last one is a person who quits. So obviously there are situations where you have to quit doing something if it's detrimental to your health or it's detrimental to meeting other survival-based goals. But for the most part, if a person says they're going to do something and they don't follow through and their quitting is chronic, they're not worth investing in any longer, because ultimately, by investing in them, you're basically saying, I'm willing to allow you to waste not only your time, but my time as well. And so when we have people who kind of drive us backwards into forcing us to kind of second guess, is our time well spent here because they're a quitter, it's better to walk away from those situations. So hopefully this has been helpful, and I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.